He initially tried to leak them to the Congress and hoping that because the Congress had the right to see these documents, that they would release them, put them in the congressional record and release the information to the American people. The information being that 5 presidents had lied to the American people about the possibilities of winning in Vietnam and the morality of fighting in Vietnam. And what happened in the end was that there was he leaked it to a reporter, Neil Sheehan at the New York Times, who, and it was it became an incredibly important news story. It was on the top story in the nightly news for a week in 1971 and again in 73 when Dan was on trial. The way I see it now is it was a crack in the sort of curtain of secrecy that the American people for a moment got to see what was really going on in the government, and I think it sort of changed the relationship of the American people and their government in a way that's really never been altered. There's more suspicion, perhaps more questioning, more a feeling that citizens have to be more active and keep a better eye and be more vigilant about their government. I think that whistleblowers play an important role because there are times when we just aren't going to get the truth unless someone stands up and is willing to accept the responsibility for leaking information. And sometimes they're not willing to stand up and accept the responsibility. They just leak it anonymously. In fact, most of the information that's in the news on a daily basis is something somebody doesn't want us to know. So there's leaks every day that are controlled by the government for their own good. The kind of consolidation that Bush, in the 8 years that he was president, the kind of massive amount of consolidation of power into the executive branch, Obama, with all of his good intentions, and certainly we're excited to have him versus the alternative, but he hasn't given up any of that power. I mean, he didn't turn around and say, we don't really need the president to have this much power. He hasn't given up a single bit of any of the things that the Patriot Act put in the hands of the executive branch, and we don't see really a big turning around about the use of secrecy or the consolidation of power in the executive branch since Obama's been president.